Good people, what is happening? Thursday night IG Live. It's your guy A Lee Real Estate. We got a nice special guest tonight. I'm interested myself in hearing his story and hearing his journey. Um, he's got a very unique background, but he's killing it in real estate, and he figured out a way to make it work. So I'm looking forward to talking to Frank. So as soon as he jumps in, we will get started. I see you, Matt. What's up, big homie? What's up, Yaru? Hope everybody is doing well. How them real estate projects treating y'all out there? Let me see if Frank is in here. But yeah, I'm excited. Finally to finish my duplex. I got a refi tomorrow, so that is good. Be able to get that money back out of that property. I don't know, refis are kind of challenging right now. Interest rates jumped up on us, so uh-oh. So the interest rates are, the higher interest rates are eating up that cash flow. But it's still deals to be made, money to be made. So with this particular property, I had to strategize. What's up? How are you? I had to strategize, and basically now I'm renting rooms out of one part of the duplex, and the other part of the duplex, we had to move forward and get Section 8 in there. But, again, when there's a will, there's a way. If you buy right, you can always pivot and make things happen. So, it's not always cut and dry with the real estate transactions. Hey, Frank, if you're trying to join, you got to do it from your phone. I don't know if you want a computer or not, but do it from your phone so you could get through. There you go.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to be on here, man. Thanks for having me.
Likewise, I appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you're busy. You had a crazy day today?
Man, I took a 10-minute power nap before this.
Look, it's like that. So same with you. I went, walked the dog, got some tea, and said, "Yo, we gonna make it happen." So it's all good. So salute to you.
Definitely. How was your day? I'm sure you've been running around from property to property. I think you got some properties like in the North Philly area as well.
Right now, so that's what I was just telling them while we were getting you to come in. So I'm excited. So my day was crazy in regards to I had a podcast interview today with one of my friends, but after that, one of my colleagues, I had to help them out. I went to a settlement, and while I was at the settlement for another property that I'm flipping, they sent the deed package over. So I had to hurry up, get the deed package ready because I don't want to hold up anything. So I want to get the settlement so I can get my money back in my profit. So I did that, and then while I was there, the lender sent the docs for my refi I've been waiting for. So now we're going to go to settlement tomorrow on a refi on the duplex. And I was just telling the people it's interesting because that duplex, everything I thought when it first started, it changed a little bit. So now I'm renting rooms and doing Section 8 versus initially I thought I was just going to have a certain tenant. And, interest rates also were going up. So that's eating up the cash flow. And that's why I rented the room so I could get more cash flow out of the property.
That kind of reminds me with the current property that we're doing now. We started demoing and started framing it up as a single family, but then I'm like, it's obvious numbers. Like when you're in a duplex, you're going to be getting more, but it bothered me the fact that I waited until the framing was done for the single family before I was in the area that it was, versus a duplex first floor with basement would have been like 1,200, and then the second floor would have been like 950 maybe. So once I was like, you know what, like let's tear some of this new framing that we did. We redid some of the plumbing, redid some of like the entrance doorways. And so it took like a few extra days for my guys to redo everything. And, the property was already zoned for, RM1. So we were clear.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And so it took a few extra days. And I don't know about you, but like personally, like on duplexes, we don't run HVAC. We run just like electric baseboard heaters, and
Okay.
just with that alone, uh, like I was saving, like close to like 10 grand just by not doing the HVAC anymore.
Right.
So sometimes it happens, when you're in the middle of a job site, construction changes like completely. Like, but how come yours changed like route in terms of like construction? Were you kind of in the same boat where like the numbers would just made more sense if you did like a room and board?
Well, so to your point, the rehab never stays what it's supposed to stay. So initially, I budgeted this property to be a triplex, but what happened was the once I did the renovations and submitted the plans, if I wanted to do a triplex, I either would have had to build an addition on the property, or I would have had and add a sprinkler system. So I didn't want the budget to really keep going beyond where it already was at. So I downsized and made the second unit a bi-level duplex, and the first floor is a a 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
So it's a 3-story.
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
So
Nice.
it's a large 3-story, and then again, I didn't want the budget to keep going, so I just kept it there. But to maximize the profits on where I was projecting rents to be initially when I bought it, that's why I'm doing the rooms on the second level.
And so I heard like with the room and board, for those watching, like it's way more rents than just doing a duplex or a single
If you
family.
do rooms, nice rooms.
Nice room. Yeah.
Yeah. So my room's got central air, private bathroom.
And what about like the kitchen and stuff? Like, is
They
that
share, they share the kitchen, but it's granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. It's a nice room share. It's not your average room share.
Yeah, because usually, you hear of room share, you think like kind of like slumlord kind of stuff,
Right.
Because I've
Uh,
seen personally.
a hundred $100 a week type time. No, so like for me, my tenants pay me on the first of the month. I treat them like tenants. They give me a security deposit and everything, and I scrutinize specifically who I put into the rooms because I just don't want anybody off the street. And
Right.
where they're located is near Temple Hospital, so I actually got one undergrad student, one graduate student, and I got one room left that I'm trying to fill. So I'm trying to keep it in that same mix of, going to school or a young professional.
Wow, yeah, yeah, that's key right there too, because after all the hard work of trying to get these properties in rentable conditions, and then imagine getting like some kind of tenant who thinks they know their rights and tries to ease their way into free rents and free living. Uh, Personally, like we also screen our tenants really good, so we never really had the issue like where we had to evict anybody, and we just had to evict somebody once, but this was like years ago, and this was like 2 months within them not paying rent. We were like pretty firm and gave them notices. So really, they just got away with like maybe 2 months max of not paying rent. But that's also something that like I tell people, like once people are not paying rent or they show signs, don't wait like too long. You guys gotta like be firm as well, and because some tenants and stuff or potential squatters do like to take advantage. It's
Right.
all a psychological game. If they see somebody like stuttering or something like the kind of like new kind of landlord vibes, they'll take advantage of it.
For sure. Somebody just asked, do you do your properties in your personal name or your LLC?
I do all mines in LLCs, so different LLC for every property, and you learned how to do LLCs not that long ago, and so I would pay people. I mean, people would charge like up to $800 for an LLC. And at the time where I didn't know, we'd be paying these $800 for LLCs, but just through social media and following the right people, that like this is a learnable skill, and really you could bring that price down to just 125 by playing like by doing it yourself and following yourself, but you got to pay the 125 for the state directly.
Yeah, so you can look it up on YouTube how to do it for PA as well. But for me, I like to support some of my friends. So Common Ground Management is in Philadelphia. I think they charge like $275. Not bad, but they'll do everything. They'll also get you registered with the city as well, which is an added benefit. And then from there, you'll get all your LLC docs, your operating agreement, and everything else. And so none of these properties don't show up on your personal credit. So no, so he asked if your properties show up on your personal credit. I'll speak for me. So no, none of my properties show up on my personal credit because they're in the LLC.
Right. Yeah. It's connected to the EIN number, right? So my social is apart from the EIN numbers that the LLCs are associated with.
Correct. And for you, I guess, can I ask, why are you doing one property per LLC?
Just for like liability reasons. Uh, I know some people who are aware that, you know, LLCs are to limit your liability. It's in the name, but I know some people that have all their properties in one LLC. So it's like almost the same as having all your properties under your name. Because what if that LLC also gets into some financial or legal issue, and they can go after every individual property that's under that LLC.
Gotcha. Right. So I teetered with that idea about doing it in different LLCs. So I kind of break it up. I got an LLC to flip in. I got different LLCs, but I'll do at least 2 or 3, and I kind of keep it around there where per LLC, and you know, just get a higher insurance policy to really cover for issues, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Do you also keep one per LLC per property?
Keep one what?
Like one LLC per property?
No. So that's where I was saying I got LLCs I flip in. I got LLCs that I hold in, but I'll do, like I said, at least 3 properties in one LLC.
At least 3. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. At least 3, no more than 4, give or take what the situation is, or if there's a partner involved or something. You know.
Reporting as well, right? So like I got my like younger sister and my younger brothers, you know, involved in this real estate thing now, and like, you know, tasks like LOCs and like other kind of, you know, making sure that the contractors have the right material and they know what they're doing. Like I've got them on board and they're delegating that stuff for me. So I guess there's also like another incentive to do an LLC per property is because I give it to them, and then, you know, then they get, you know, the pay whatever they charge me. And then at the same time, they're learning a skill. So it's just kind of, you know, giving back. And with real estate, that's the beauty of it, is you can give back like to your friends and family. Like you can provide a job for them essentially, because now you become kind of like this job creator for the community.
Right. Well, hold on real quick before we go too deep. I almost forgot, and I apologize, because we jumped right into it. So again, for those of you that are on here, my name is Anthony Lee, A. Lee Real Estate. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We do this every Thursday at 8:30 p.m., where we like to share people's stories and some real estate game and motivation for people who look like us, come from the environments we come from all walks of life, and just share the inspiration and motivation that the average person can do this and reach success in real estate. So again, so I almost forgot, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, and before you got into real estate, what were you doing before you got into real estate?
Yeah, I grew up in Philly. I was born in Peru, but I was brought to Philly when I was 5. You know, grew up in the Northeast area, but I had an uncle who lived in North Philly and did this real estate thing, very old school style. He was the one with the hammer and, you know, the tool belts, and, you know, he succeeded because he's a workhorse. Like this guy is nonstop. 100-hour work weeks is a norm to him. And although he was the man of all trades and doing all these things, um, you know, he had such a work ethic. So anyways, like growing up in Philly, uh, like education, high school graduation, I was like, I want to be like my uncle. I want to be a real estate investor. I want to be, you know, making the money that a doctor makes, but not having to be actively working to gain that income.
Right.
So my numbers down. The highest profession in college, university is probably lawyer, doctor, surgeon, which they're probably making 200 grand, maybe a little over 200 grand a year. And then I ran the numbers that the rental income that my uncle was making. Mind you, he was in business for under 8 years, but he was making more than the top, you know, corporate job would provide.
Right.
He was making it for life. And so that kind of just hit a light bulb in my head. And I was like, yeah, I think, you know, I don't want to follow, you know, corporate, typical kind of, you know, go to school, get a job kind of idea. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I do think that I do think a lot of people just kind of get peer pressured, right, into just kind of going and following whatever path that they're just kind of in. Like people just easily tap into like automatic pilot mode, right? Like pilot mode, just they're not even making conscious decisions for themselves. They're just going because everybody else is doing it.
Right.
So I'm asking around in high school. This is like 12th grade. Like, why are you really going to Why are you really going to college? Why are you really going to university?
Because mom told me to, or dad told me to, or go to the army.
And but they looked at me with this question, was like, huh? Like, because they never got that. They never got asked that question. Like, wait, isn't this obvious? I mean, aren't you supposed to go to college? Aren't you
Right.
supposed to go? Like, they never even thought that it was a decision, because it was like society decided for them. And
Right.
so, like, realizing all these things, kind of observing, like, people just kind of, generally mostly followers and stuff, and they like to be led. I'm like, well, I want to take initiative over my life, and I took advantage of the fact that my uncle was in business and real estate, and so I joined in with a hammer and a tool belt, and I was a labor's man for the good year after that. So a straight year after high school, I was a labor's man for him, getting paid, $50 a day, cheap labor. But at the end, it was like, I'm learning skills, I'm networking, I'm learning the game, and construction was my gateway in. I can provide equity to get in the door, and through those skills, I started saving up some money. I just kind of got into the construction route, right? So I started my handyman business. That was doing good. Then I started, doing contracting work. I got my contractor's license, and I was flipping houses for other people. And I was like, well, if I know how to flip a house for other people, why don't I just flip a house for myself? And I knew the game, and I got my first property up in Logan, not too far from like LaSalle University, and yeah, we bought that, converted that into a duplex, and we flipped that. First house was flip was like under 3 months, and it's still to this day rented out, cash flowing. Had that for a little over like 7 years now.
Okay, that's good money, man. So you said you started in construction. I mean, so like, I take it you said your uncle, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So did he teach you like the construction stuff initially, or did you go to school for it?
Oh, no, he taught it like straight up. Yeah, he taught it on the field. No schooling, no trade school or anything. That's a
So
that's the best to get in.
so
You
do
know.
you have like do you specialize in anything specifically in regards to your construction, or are you
So
something
I
else?
was I was the flooring guy. Like that, I quit my job with him to become like a flooring contractor. So
Okay,
I was getting called for carpets, flooring, vinyl, tiles, et cetera, et cetera. And what I'd make from one contract job was more than the whole week's worth of pay, and so I continued that, being like the contractor.
right. And then like tell us about your first deal. How'd that work? You said that's a buy and hold deal you did, or you did a fix and flip?
Oh no, that wasn't a flip. That was a buy and hold. Yeah. So I actually did like seller's finance through my uncle, right? So he financed the deal for me. I only put like 4 grand down, 4 grand down at the time. I mean,
Okay.
but that 4 grand, I held it in cash. That felt like the heaviest chunk of cash because I worked so much and I sweated so much for this money. So as I was handing him that 4 grand, it felt like so much. Now, one trip to the hardware store or something, you can spend that.
Poor girl.
Yeah, but it just felt like so much money at the time to me. And yeah, he the purchase price was 10 grand. I put down 4 grand. Every month after that, I was paying 500. Within I think a year, the property was fully paid off, and then I got a private loan for the construction, because I ran the construction with my guys at the time.
Uh-huh.
My rehab was like, at that time in 2015, my rehab was like $25,000 true expenses. This is materials and labor, and I wasn't like including my fee because it's my house. So I definitely put in like a lot of work in my house, like physically, but it's just kind of the way I got started. So I was in debt 25 grand after that, but the rents were paying off the interest, and within like about a year, just I let the rents pay off. I didn't know anything about cash out refinance. I didn't know anything about hard money loans. It was just like personal, private, family that were loaning me money. Just this year, actually, I got into hard money, credit, refinance. I haven't officially done my first refinance yet. I have it
Okay.
set for next week, so that'll be my first time, like my official.
Congrats. That's on a new deal, or is that on an older deal?
Uh, this is on a deal that I did in January of this year.
Okay. Single family or multi?
This is a single family.
Gotcha. And then how are you finding your deals? Or is it different from 2015, how you're finding them? How are you finding them now?
Yeah, so 2015, like the way I got that one, like I honestly, like I sat down on the table with my uncle and I told him like that he had great influence in my life. Like I see him and I want to be like him.
Right.
And he was just kind of touched by the story that I shared with him. The next night or the next morning, he texted me a property address, and I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "That's the property I can sell you." Obviously, he bought that from the sheriff's sale. He wholesaled it to me for like his initial purchase was like 6 grand because I looked it up on the website. Uh, he made 4 grand off me, but I'm like, that's completely fine. 10 grand is still a crazy deal for a house. It's a corner
Right.
property. It was really good. Um, I got a HELOC loan off of that just a few months ago too. So that's like, yeah, like my first time pulling equity out of a property ever, and I was just kind of my head honestly was just kind of zoned in on the whole cash mentality. Buy things cash, fix things cash. Cash is king kind of mentality. But just this year, I've been learning the whole credit, hard money stuff.
So can we ask, who'd you do your HELOC through?
Citizens Bank at the time.
Wow. Okay. I've been hearing good things about Citizens. Somebody else told me that they're now doing lines of credit unsecured just for businesses. I think 30,000.
Wow, I gotta check into that.
Well, whoever did your HELOC, I would talk to them because I'm sure they know about the other product. So, like you said, you got plenty of LLCs, so you might want to go back with the one LLC, put $100 in the account, and then apply for the business line of credit.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I went back to the bank like last week to talk about getting, lines of credit, and so they did mention something like this. They were supposed to give me a call back like sometime this week.
Right. They rushing the holiday. They trying to get out of there, but definitely, like that, give them a shout just to see, because that, it's an extra 30 grand for you to do multiple projects. So I mean, so what's your long-term goal now? Like, now that, like you said, you've expanded, now you know something about the credit, the refinances. Like, what do you see for yourself long term?
Well, I definitely want to continue the flipping business, or not really flip because we don't really sell them, but the rehab, purchase rehab, real estate investing. I definitely want to remove myself out of the picture. So, getting like a family business established. I've got, all my younger siblings really want to, get involved. And I feel like, as just like the oldest sibling, you got to like, lead and, set the example and provide for them in a way.
Right.
Definitely want to have them kind of run the whole, because like the way I set up my rehabs is like I don't really like pay any subs or contractors. Like I pay guys on a daily, and they do all the trades, and so that's why we're able to purchase a property for like 25. Sorry, That's why we can rehab a property for like just
For
20.
25.
Because that's just true expenses, no general contractor fee. Um, and just continue that going. I want to, get, more 3-story buildings, but also moving into, new construction. I think I like the new construction a lot. Yeah. Every time I drive by these, new
They
construction,
excite you.
they do. Yeah. I just, it's just something just calls out to me. It's like I also can build that. Like I just
Right.
want to, yeah.
That's what's up. So why is it important? I keep hearing you talking about your family. Like, so why is it important for you to be able to try to help your younger siblings get established or get an opportunity with the real estate?
Uh, it's felt like a strong pull to be there for them. I guess there's just been like maybe some just stuff happening within the family where like they need somebody to show up for them, and it gives me a sense of fulfillment when I can have or know that my siblings are also getting involved in work that will affect them in their long term as well. My sister's
Right.
got property in under contract. Great deal. Like I think
Cut
we
out.
got
There you go. Can you hear us?
yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay. Say it again. You said your sister got her first deal under contract?
Yeah, she's got her first deal under contract, looking to close like maybe this month, maybe like next month at the latest. But it's
Okay.
just the fulfillment, like, you can see so many digits in your bank account, but there needs to be a sense of fulfillment that is behind that. And when you have some stuff like family, I feel like that's more of a motivating force that goes beyond just numbers, because numbers are endless. You know, you could, hit 5, 6 figure months, but then it's like you just always want to get more and more and more. And I don't know, I just feel like it's got to be tied to some kind of emotional fulfillment.
Motivation, right. So now that, I guess, like, if you get the family lined up and I mean the business starts running without you, what are you going to do with your time?
So honestly, like, this is maybe so like unrelated to like the whole real estate investing thing, or maybe it's kind of tied in. But like I just want to move like somewhere where it's tropical. Like I was thinking like Hawaii. So I want to buy like big piece of land in Hawaii. And
Okay.
see how we flip houses here in Philly. I'm gonna flip land, like buy acres of raw land that's just forest, and deforested, and plant fruit trees, and just kind of build on my land there, and just kind of like whatever I envision to be on this property, I can and I will do that, because we're innovators, we're builders, we got funds, we got
Right.
work ethic, those things, we can do a lot. So definitely just kind of living, definitely always still like uh, like kind of occupied with the whole build dynamic, um, but definitely wanting to move into like somewhere more tropical and warm, like
Gotcha.
for like the homes and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because Philly can be brutal. So I understand for sure. So what would you tell somebody just starting out, like trying to get into real estate? Like you said, being that, you didn't go to college. It's not like, you went to real estate school, so like, what would you tell somebody trying to get started in real estate?
I tell them like there's so many gateways to get involved. Like people ask me, how do I get started? How do I get started? Well, like, or some people hit like a few, tens of thousands of dollars in their bank account. They want to like invest. But like I said, like invest in yourself. You can invest in yourself with almost barely no money. You can invest in yourself through free ebooks, courses, mentorships. Find these smaller Instagram accounts that are willing to give because they don't have a big following, and you can find a lot of good hidden gems amongst these Instagram accounts, and definitely networking with people. Like I would tell people, like get a construction job, even just for a few weeks. Now it's summer. Somebody's young, 18, 17, just finished high school. You're learning a skill that essentially then you can use to tell your contractors to follow up, and you're familiar with construction, a huge aspect of the real estate investing. So once you know construction, you won't get ripped off like contractors. When you meet these guys, and there's many gateways. I mean, work for people that have what you want, serve them, you know, make them feel like they need you because you
Right.
work so much for them. Like I worked for my uncle for $50 a day, and I was like kind of like slave wage. But after so long, he provided me the opportunity for a $10,000 property, and
Right.
opportunity is there for anybody that seeks and knocks for it.
So you mentioned about books, ebooks and stuff. Do you have any books that you could recommend if somebody wanted to seek out that knowledge and information?
There was this one ebook. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It was this one. It's not an ebook, but it's a book that I read. It was like How to Get Rich Buying and Renting Properties in the Hood by like Floyd Simmons.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, yeah. And this was the first time I read a book that talked about renting properties in the hood. And I'll have to send it to you in messages so you can take a look. But
Okay. Please
that was
do.
yeah.
Okay.
It's uh, how to be like how to get rich buying properties and buying and renting properties in the hood by Floyd Simmons. If you guys want to jot that down.
Okay. Any other books or podcasts?
I do like Bigger Pockets. I listen to some
Okay.
Grant Cardone.
You said you
Yeah, I used
listen to
to.
Grant?
Yeah, I listen to Grant.
Yeah, Uncle G.
Uh,
I've been listening to him as of recent about the apartments and the larger properties because when he talks about with the larger properties, it does make sense. Can you hear me?
yeah, big. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing like bigger, like apartment building complex. I mean, huge, amazing. It's inspiring to look at.
Right. Um, what else? What else? What was the other question? Yeah, so now I guess how's the market been for you? Like, are you still getting properties for 10,000 or 25,000? Like what are the properties looking like these days when you're buying?
Yeah, so I mean, even this year, I was able to get a property for 20,000
In Philly?
in Philly. Yeah,
Where are you finding these properties?
this was actually in Fairhill, so it's not the best areas, but they're areas that are gonna obviously rise in value within time, and so that's
Oh,
that's the thing with real estate too. Like you got to have a vision for the future. Eventually, and you work yourself up there to buying these bigger unit apartments, these houses that cost a lot more money. But you start up. You got to start somewhere. And so when any property in Philly is 20 grand, I'm buying it. Like it doesn't matter. I don't even got to go in there and look at it. As long as it's got the structure
right,
clause. Even lots are not even going for that price anymore. So
right,
we did have like a tree growing out of it. And, you open the main door, you see the sky because there's no first floor, second floor, or roof.
right,
Those kind of properties.
right. No, and that's the thing. Like somebody sent us something the other day. My boy, he was like, "Yo, it's only 15 grand, but the whole back was missing, the roof was missing. I'm like, yeah, but that's almost new construction. If it's not already on the tear down list. So, you gotta
Yeah.
gotta be careful. So Bianca just jumped in. She said she got something for 85K for sale. Drop it in the chat, Bianca, so we know. Drop it in the
Yeah.
comments. Anybody want to get what Honeybee? Honeybee says she's got a property for sale for 85K that needs rehab.
And even just connecting with wholesalers, like I get messages come to me on a daily from wholesalers that are got properties for sale. I say like niche down to certain zip codes because people are like, I want to buy a property. I'm like, where? They're like, I don't know, anywhere. But like that is too broad, that is too general. If you go on Redfin and you put all the zip codes, like it's just going to shoot you so many endless properties that you're going to be overwhelmed. You're not going to overstart. You got to niche down, at least give like 4 zip codes and then come up with a price range. So let's say maybe like 30 to I don't know what big of a rehab property, but like let's say the price range is like under 80,000.
Right,
80,000 zip codes 19122, 19140, 19132. These zip codes that we work in, and now you have a more niche um, like selection of properties that you are now like scoping out. And
right,
like go on Redfin. I like Redfin's template. Click on those properties. The listing agent's contact info is right there. Call them up. Tell them like, hey, I'm interested in buying this property. You don't even have to have all the money up front. You could just tell them that you do, and they don't know. Like they work for you essentially because they get paid off commission once they make the deal.
right,
And if you're there, go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity. You have a professional agent in front of you. Ask your questions, get your questions answered. You know, talk to the neighbors while you're there. Like get their numbers, and whenever there's a property nearby or that they have for sale, tell them you give them some commission if they refer you to somebody that has selling the property. Just literally walking down the neighborhood, I could find a property. It's like a selling game, and so right now it's through wholesaling. I do check, like MLS. I have properties that get sent to me, like to like my automatic, emailing list. Um, Even through there, we still get them. Just because sometimes, when a deal pops up and it's a good deal, that's when you gotta act quick. But off-market deals, we do get often. Even wholesaling personally, like I won't wholesale it, but like I'd keep the properties myself. Just kind of, property owner direct.
right. Hunting owners direct. That's always a good one. And especially like you said, if you're going into areas where it's not as competitive because the price points are lower, so it's not as much competition. So you can, go over there and get a few properties compared to going over in this other neighborhood and only getting one property.
Right, and you're familiar with construction because you got that construction job, then you're able to go into these properties and assess how much you're going to spend in your construction budget, and you can
Right.
make it on the spot. There's no going back. Let me come back to my contractor, and by the time you get back to the seller, oh sorry, we've already got an offer and we already sold it. Like,
So for you, what do you have planned the rest of this year? Like, are you going to start refine some of the properties you purchased early on, or like right now you just focused on buying like more properties, more multifamilies, and going from there?
yeah, I'm going to refinance all the properties that I've been doing this year.
Oh,
Uh, the ones I had before, probably not. I don't think I mean, it depends, like how it goes, but I think definitely all the properties I've been doing this year are refinance. Um, and yeah, I continue building, like yeah, continue, trying to hit like 3 to 4 houses a month, and doing that, I feel like grinding it out for the next year or so, I could, you know,
get to Hawaii.
get a Hawaii eventually.
So one more, if you don't mind, how many properties did you purchase this year so far?
I feel like I get asked that often, but I always say like not enough, man. There's always constantly, there's always bigger goals. But
For, for sure, definitely understand that. Um, do you teach any classes or do any like education for people who want to learn?
people have been reaching out for like mentorships or classes, and like unfortunately, like I just gotta tell them like no right now. The what I have offered in the past was like property tours, and so people would come into the property. We go between two properties generally, and so I take them to the first one that's like, requires a full gut demo. You can see the deteriorating wood, you know, uh, the beams, the framing. You can see all of that stuff. So I take them there first. I show them, the process of what has to get done, how I find these properties, and I take them to a property that's just recently finished or currently in finished work, and they're like, "Wow, like massive difference." And, what splits these two properties apart is probably just like 1.5 months time, and it's a learning experience for them. They're not just coming to, you know, see the property, but they're actually like learning the construction and what material needs to get used. And even take them to Home Depot or Lowe's sometimes to show them, you know, the
How to pick out the material?
material. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. We might have to get you out so you definitely could do a property tour with some of the people that have been helping and educate. Speaking of which, on July 23rd, I'm hosting the class. It's in person. It's going to be here in Philadelphia on the 23rd, July 23rd. I'll drop the flyer in my chat for people to pre-register. We're not going to be in physical houses that day, but we're going to be teaching people who have 9 to 5s how to leverage the money in their credit from their 9 to 5s to start building additional income. So to your point, I mean, I do like college, but at the same token, just having a job in college isn't enough. I think COVID has shown you that, you need your money to work for you. So again, July 23rd, I want to show people how to make their money work for them by teaching them, again, one property a year that you turn into a rental, additional $400 a month. You'll get that for the rest of your life. But in addition to that, just imagine if you do one flip a year, you made on a bad flip only $30,000. So imagine that with your 9 to 5. In 5 years, if you bought, 5 to 6 properties, almost 1 to 2 properties per year, you'd be a millionaire just in real estate. A millionaire, and you can keep your 9 to 5. So when you go to work, your boss can't piss you off. You ain't asking for no sick time. You ain't even looking at your paycheck no more because you've got enough properties coming in every month from the rent that your paycheck is just extra at that point. So, again, I want to show people how to leverage the 9 to 5 so that if they want to, they could quit their job or they could stay at the job and basically just be there because they want the health benefits.
Yeah, there's a saying in real estate: you work once, you get paid for the rest of your life. That four
For
hundred
sure.
that $400 monthly, rent that comes in, that's for life, and you've only done that flip one time. You could be 5, 10 years from now, like properties that you've done 5, 10 years ago, you forget that they're even there. Oh, I'm getting rent from that property. I didn't even know that's like extra side cash money, that you're putting in your pockets for further investments. So
Right.
definitely what you're teaching people and giving them like the encouragement to go ahead and invest in real estate and not let their money sit in the bank account with inflation rates and everything like that going up. then definitely that's the move.
Right. So, and again, I'll drop that in my story. But is there anything else you want to leave the people with that I might not have asked you, or that, you know, you're like, yo, I gotta tell them this?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like if you need like some, you know, if you are looking for some encouragement, or you know, proceed on road estate, because it seems like that's what we have all in common right here is we all are interested in real estate. Maybe have gotten into real estate before, but like anyone can do this. Like you know, it. I know there's a lot of people maybe on Instagram who make it seem like it's an exclusive thing or something, but literally like anyone can do it. You can. It's all a learnable skill. Not that anyone can do it because it's easy, but it's a learnable skill. You know,
Right. Like that.
working, you know, in your own kind of pace. You know, you can do one flip a year. You know, you can make an extra additional 30K for a bad flip a year, an extra 400 grand off. But like that's depending on how hard you press on that gas pedal. Because you could
Right.
one a month if you really wanted to. Uh, and but yeah, I say like yeah, if you need further encouragement, like yeah, man, reach out to those people that have what you want essentially, and see these things as like um, lessons that like hey, if he can do it, then I can do it as well. Like
Right.
instead of he's doing something that feelings of jealous or envious, like switch that to encouragement and inspiration because
Right.
we're all kind of in each other's shoes, one time or another.
For sure. For sure. You got to start somewhere. Remember that. Everybody started somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, like I said, definitely salute to you, man. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely rooting for you. Hoping you get to Hawaii soon enough, and I'm hoping your siblings, man, they take advantage of having you as an older brother, man. So definitely thank you again.
Appreciate you for having me, man. We gotta link up sometime. If we're in the same zip codes probably. I'm in the Temple area as well.
All right, well, no, we'll link up, come check out one of your properties. So again, thank you. Make sure you guys lock in with our guy. And don't forget July 23rd, I'm about to drop it in the story so you guys can pre-register. And again, we appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, yeah, take care. Good night.
Thank you.